boy's parents, they need to tell him to grow a pair. In real life, it's going to happen. Somebody's going to take your girlfriend. It happens.
I think it's gonna,
Now, you guys may have seen this before, you may not have seen, but there's a very common Reddit thread called Am I the... Oh, this is not the word they use, but I'm going to use Am I the asshat, but they don't use asshat. They use the other word.
what's
That's
the other
with
word?
the H.
I don't curse, so, that's something I'm going to...
Is it the H? Right.
What's the other word? Can we see?
No, it's... what's the closest word
Being
alternative to
castle.
asshat?
Castle.
Oh, okay. But
Okay.
what does
Asshat. What's the
You
closest
don't
word to
remember
asshat?
I get it, but
the
I'm
key to
saying, how do you
happiness
come
in a
up with
household.
asshat?
Asshat is another term for...
Really?
Yeah, don't be an asshat.
Really?
Yeah.
Who says that? Those who don't curse.
T, you've heard asshat, right?
Listen, I cuss like a sailor. I have never heard this before.
I know, but you've heard the term asshat.
No.
Not in my circles, no.
I've never heard of that
Well,
before.
as Christians, use asshat
Oh,
because not you fake Christians. Anyway,
Uh-uh.
but so the thread is called "Am I the asshat?" But replace that with the thing, right? So the concept is simple. People tell their experiences of situations that happened, and they ask the question, "Am I the asshat for acting like this?" Or no, and then it's up to the public to decide are they the asshat or not. Okay. So this is one that I find interesting. Someone tagged our Reddit and I was like, oh, this is nice. So
But
question.
someone, was it one of us three?
No. So question.
It was ourselves.
Question, right? Am I the asshat for not punishing my 7-year-old daughter for her play relationships? Listen to the scenario.
For her what?
Listen to the scenario. My husband and I have a 7-year-old daughter, Layla. A few months ago, Layla got a boyfriend, Lucas.
Okay.
They're both 7, so it's obviously not a real relationship. They just hold hands and sometimes they draw each other's hearts on Valentine's Day. This week, Layla was apparently holding hands with another boy who also sent Layla a Valentine's Day love letter. And Lucas took offense to it. We found out because Lucas' parents called to tell us that Lucas won't be coming over this Saturday, as was originally planned, because he is mad at Layla.
Oh.
My husband wants to punish Layla and wants me to have a talk with her about faithfulness. At first, I thought he was joking, but no, he's serious. He says that Layla cheated on Lucas, and I... He says that Layla cheated on Lucas, and I, as her mother, should do something about it. I told my husband that Layla is 7, not a cheater, and I won't treat her as such. He then accused me of raising a cheater.
People are going through it, guys.
He then accused me of raising a cheater and encouraging the bad behavior. Am I the asshat for not wanting to punish Layla?
Wow.
No.
Why not?
Layla should know that she's got options. Like,
Guys, Layla is 7. Can we just deep dive? Like, how many kids?
What does she know about cheating? It's a guy that drew her a love heart on Valentine's Day. What does she know? All they do is hold hands. Even you, right? Would you be upset that Fatsani has held Professor Nick's hand? It's just him.
Yeah,
I
would be very upset as well. And I'm not even...
Can you imagine? That's him.
I would be upset.
What's wrong with you? What? Yes.
It's
He
just
starts sending me hearts.
7. No, my question here would be, why is daddy so pressed? Like, what has mom done that dad needs to correct about mom? Because surely it can't be about a 7-year-old. She's 7.
It is about the 7-year-old because it's about, like what he said, faithfulness and raising a cheater.
Really?
Actually, what do you think?
How many girlfriends did you have when you were in like primary school?
One at a time.
No, I'm sure T-Man used to come home and be like, I've got 6 girlfriends.
Did you teach him about faithfulness? That's a failing on you guys' part.
Wow, no.
Why did it
It's 7.
That's
You're putting ideas into their head, no?
Okay.
Well, if you ask me, I'll
Because
say
for them,
Layla.
they're not classing themselves as in their romantic relationships. They're starting to learn about relationships. So this is my boyfriend, this is my girlfriend. They understand that you can almost pick a person to be your favorite person, but
So do
And
you
then
think?
and then have some on the
Do you think
side.
at that age isn't that a good time to tell them that okay, that's fine, but if that's the case, you only have to do it one at a time. You can't be
What?
holding
No.
Lucas's hand
And this
and then
week
going
and the
off and
next week.
holding Ben's hand at the
Next
same
week.
time.
why not? You're 7.
Yeah, to be honest, if you ask me, I say Layla's for the streets.
Hmm?
She's for the streets.
Wow.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
Hold on.
you're with
Were
the
you
dad.
not about to
Yeah,
say?
I'm with
Yeah,
the dad.
you switched quick.
What's your
Yeah,
problem?
I'm with the dad. I'm with the dad now. Like, why are you
You
doing?
just called a 7-year-old a hoe.
No,
Oh, wow.
those words didn't come out of my mouth.
All right. You know what?
Those words didn't come out of my mouth. But at 7, you can't be holding this person's hand, that person's hand, this person's hand. At 7,
They're 7 years old is like year 2, year 3.
the dad is helping the mum to discipline the girl so that she doesn't become.
Why didn't the dad have the conversation with the girl if you're so
Because
pressed?
he said as a mother.
Yeah.
So
But why
he
is that
said
a
as a
conversation
mother.
just to come from a
That's
mother?
a
Why can
fact.
he,
To be honest,
as a
they both can sit
father,
down. Fair enough. They both
Thelma,
can sit
as
down.
a
They
father,
both can sit down and have a conversation. But I think what the dad is trying to do is just to raise a good child so that in the future she doesn't become for the streets. So she knows her
but
values
why
and her
is it
morals
the
right
mother's
early on.
duty to raise a good
Yeah.
child? Why can't the
No,
father
why
have that conversation?
I'm saying they both should do it. I'm saying they
Okay.
both should do it.
Okay, hang
And
on.
also, the boy whose parents say, "Oh, my child is not going to come anymore," they also need to come and join the conversation.
Now it's marriage counseling.
Let them be realistic with their child. If we're being realistic, okay, fine. The boy's parents, they need to tell him to grow a pair. In real life, it's gonna happen. Somebody's gonna take your girlfriend. It happens.
I think I don't think it's a conversation of you cheated. It's a conversation. The conversation the parents need to have with Layla is it's not very nice.
Someone's gonna take your girlfriend.
The conversation that needs to be had. It's Layla. What you did is not very nice. Lucas was being really kind to you, and you're really unkind to Lucas. When he was being really kind to you, and you've hurt Lucas's feelings, I don't think it's a conversation of
I don't
you
think so.
cheated,
No,
you
no,
cheater.
because she'll say, how have I been unkind to Lucas?
Because
And then you say what?
Because Lucas, you agreed with Lucas that you were gonna draw each other hearts for
Mhm.
Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
But then you ended up with what was the other? What's the side piece's
I don't know,
name?
let's call him Ben.
Yeah.
But then you,
The side pieces.
I said,
but then you went off and drew hearts with Ben, so that hurt Lucas's feelings because you'd planned something with Lucas, and then that didn't. Lucas is hurt.
So
by
it's still
that.
telling her you cheated, but
It's not
obviously
telling
you,
her-
you,
but
you
then
don't have to
it's-
use those words as a
I don't think I'm
7-year-old.
gonna- yeah, I'm
but
not
the
gonna-
sentiment is the same,
Yeah,
isn't
but
it?
those are conversations you have with kids anyway, don't you? But in those words, but I think for me, it seems a bit drastic to literally go to a 7-year-old and say you cheated.
No.
You are
Okay,
a cheater.
so we're not saying use those words. The question is, am I the asshat for not wanting to punish Layla? So she's asking, is she in the wrong for not wanting to
Well,
punish
I don't know
Layla?
what's being punished though. What's the punishment going to be? You're grounded.
for
I
Because-
think I don't.
The dad
You'd be
wants
going
it.
too far. I think
Yeah.
the discussion is should she punish the daughter? I think that's where we should end. To be honest with you, I'm
What
surprised.
taking it from another boy?
From holding,
Huh?
for holding
For holding hands
Okay,
with another
listen.
boy
Somebody
when
else.
when
Okay.
she's agreed.
She already has a
to-
boyfriend.
Go on, Prone.
Now
Listen,
she's holding hands
right?
with another boy.
Every behavior is learned from somewhere, right?
This is why the dad wants the mom to have a conversation.
When do you start teaching children right and wrong?
From
Right?
the very beginning.
When do you discipline them? When do you mold them, instruct them religious wise, whatever? When do you start doing that? You cannot be saying that 7 years is too young. It's not. You can I agree with you. You can dim it down to the level they're at. Why are they holding hands? What's in their heads? What are they understanding? What are they doing? Yeah. When they are coming and drawing each other's heart, what is that thing that they're doing? If they are understanding that to be a relationship at their level, then what she's done is wrong because she's going to start another relationship with someone else.
But yes, what she's done is wrong, but
So-
I don't think I'll deem it as cheating the same way
It
that
is okay.
the
If
same way
we are
that
dimming it down to childhood, yeah, we can use whatever play words we want. But if she is in a relationship with Lucas, yeah, no matter how.
the relationship, though, I feel like
That's what I'm saying. No, hold on.
My
My point
But it's when a
was-
relationship is at
My
7 years
point
old.
is,
That's what
yeah?
a relationship is, isn't it?
Yeah, Fatsani, my
hands,
point
yeah.
is that
Yeah.
the children themselves, what do they understand about what they're doing? If they're not going to be thinking about sex or anything, nothing like that at that age, but what do they think? Is that what they call a relationship? If the answer is yes, then she should not be enter another relationship with someone else. That is cheating. Now, I'm not saying go out there and start saying you're a cheater, you're a cheater. No. But is she an asshat? Yes, she is. She needs to sit her down and explain in that little world Lucas and her have created. Explain to her and make her understand why Lucas was hurt. And there's another boy's feelings at heart. And you're saying he should go repair. Come on. Clearly, he also understood something about this little
That's why
play
he doesn't wanna
relationship.
come into it.
Exactly. So his heart has been broken. She's broken his heart. They should not just be sitting there, oh, allow it. No.
I
Address
didn't
it.
say allow it, but I feel like
She's
the
a
way-
cheater.
the
She cheated with Ben.
the way the dad is putting it is
Yeah.
it's the thing we're always saying on this podcast. At the minute, there's a lot of teaching kids from an adult perspective, and I think the dad is taking it from an adult perspective. So yes,
No, I think the dad was speaking to the mom in an adult manner.
Yeah.
But the dad was
Communicating
not
the
saying
adult
exactly
sentiment about
exactly.
the childhood
Yeah,
things
but
that
So, but the
happened.
dad was not saying God call our daughter a cheater.
No,
or a
but
whore,
it sounds
nothing
like that's
that.
what he was saying.
No.
The dad accused the mom
Mad
of
for-
raising
exactly,
a cheater
exactly.
because the mom doesn't want to take any action
And
of what
discipline
Layla has
the
Exactly.
done.
child.
Discipline the
Firstly, the
child.
dad could have taken the action.
Listen,
I'm
wait,
still on that.
That's
Yes,
not
I agree.
the topic.
I agree.
Yeah,
though.
that's not the point of the
That's
thing.
not the
Yeah.
point.
On.
You're gonna bring
Jeez,
gender
I was
into
going
it.
to carry on.
Go
But
on.
yes, I agree, which is the point I was saying, that a conversation can be had, but I don't think it's a conversation of cheating. When kids are at that stage, it's a conversation of how you treat people, a conversation of kindness, because that's how kids develop, that's how they grow. Kids always come back from nursery with 3 or 4 girlfriends, 4 or 5 boyfriends, and the conversation is always the same. You have to be kind. You can't not be kind to people. You can't agree to go play in the sand with Philip, but then end up playing with the water with Lacey, and then Philip is by himself. But why did you agree to play with Philip if you weren't going to do
So
it?
you're saying
So you're gonna have-
so you're saying that
What's her name? What's the girl's name?
as long as Layla is
Layla.
kind to 3 guys, then she can be holding hands and drawing hearts for 3
that's
kind.
not what I said.
As long
You've
as long as she's kind to all of
you've
them.
misunderstood.
We
what I
actually
said.
haven't. That's what you're saying.
What you're saying is at that age the
How can
conversation.
you say I
Hang on,
haven't when
hang
I'm
on.
saying you've misunderstood my point? How can you tell me no, you haven't?
No,
Go
no,
on.
because I'm going to explain your point to you. Because you're saying at that age the conversation should be about being kind. Yeah.
Mhm.
So you cannot agree to go playing in the sandpit with Philip, but end up playing with the water with Mark. Right? Be kind. If you agree to go with Philip, go with Philip. Is what you're saying.
Right.
Yeah. But then if you're kind about Philip, okay, Philip, I'm gonna, and again, this is not just about playing. They're holding hands, they're drawing hearts for each other. Clearly, at that age, they have decided that we're going because they don't do. She doesn't do that with every boy,
Mhm.
and he doesn't do that with every girl.
Mhm.
So at that age, they have
And understand
whatever
Exclusive
relationship is for
something.
them. Yeah. So. Well, are we saying as long as Layla is kind about it, she can draw hearts and hold hands with
every guy.
Lucas and
Whoever
do
she
the
wants.
same with Ben and do the same with Mark?
No, that's not what I'm saying, because that's not how life relationships work. Full stop. What my general point is, we're really adultifying these kids' relationships, and that's my problem.
Okay.
We've really adultified them
Okay.
because
So,
now
so,
it's
so let me ask you a question before I get a general consensus, right? Do you? Okay, what was the question I was going to ask?
Mhm.
Hang on. No. The question I was going to ask is: I understand the point of adultifying the thing, whatever, right? But I completely forgot the question. It was a very good question as well. I'm not going to lie to you.
I'm sure it was. Jumping.
It was a very good question.
Discipline.
No, it was about
That's not
about
this
Layla.
episode.
No, it was about Layla. Oh, okay. No, I'll go. It's gone. It's gone. Okay, fine. You want to say something, and then
Yeah.
I'll get a consensus.
I mean,
see where we're at.
I'm understanding the point of adultifying the children's relationship, right? And that's why I've said that at that level, so take the parents out,
Mm.
right? Layla and Lucas understand something. Yeah, they have entered a certain child, let's call it a child agreement or a child relationship, a baby feel. So we're not talking about 2 guys or
A childish relationship.
whatever it is, yeah, they've entered that. So in that world, right, Layla has done something wrong in that world. And I believe, yes, she should be spoken to in that world. So if you want to speak gaga goo-goos, or if you want to use pictures, or whatever it is when you want to, sometimes it's like even when a 2-year-old does something really bad, right? when you are talking to them, you don't use big words and call them all these words. You try to explain to them, listen, if you go take sugar, and then I don't know how you can tell it. I don't know how you can use it.
Yeah,
Okay, I've got a
okay,
good
fine.
example.
No,
This
no, it's
weekend,
okay.
this weekend, right? No, that's never gonna work. I think
It's okay. Just make your point. You don't have
But
to
That's
use
no,
but
that's my
at no
point.
examples.
at
My
no
point.
point have I said that Layla hasn't done anything wrong. I
Okay,
agree
so
Layla
the
has done
words that
something wrong,
okay,
and I
fine.
agree that a conversation needs to be had with Layla. What I'm not agreeing with is how adultified the relationship between Layla and
In what way has it been adultified? I want to understand that. In what Okay, rather, in what way am I adultifying that relationship in what I'm saying?
because it's almost being made out to be like they're in a committed relationship.
Okay, so let's run through this again.
Are
Yeah,
they not?
real
No, no,
quick.
no. Are they not in a
They're
committed
not in an
relationship
adult
at 7?
No,
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 no.
no, no,
In
no,
an
no.
adult.
No
No,
one
no.
said an
In a
adult
in a
committed relationship.
7-year-old.
relationship.
In a 7-year-old committed relationship. In a childish relationship.
Yeah, they're in a childish relationship in quotation.
Exactly.
So the conversation needs to be had in the
So in that
context
childish,
of it. But this is we're saying the same thing in the context of a childish relationship. That
Layla has
conversation.
cheated.
Hey, no, I'm not saying Layla has cheated.
That's the
You're saying
thing.
Layla has
I
cheated.
am, because that's
Okay,
what she's
and
So
that's
done.
hold on,
fine.
hold on. So if Layla hasn't cheated, what
Mhm.
do we call it?
Mhm.
But this is what I'm saying. Why is this? How is a 7-year-old
Okay, so
cheating?
okay,
No,
okay,
no.
okay.
She
Hold on.
Cheating is the
Answer the
adult term.
question.
No, no.
That's fine.
No, no.
That's the
Answer the
adult. That's
question.
Cheating is the
that's the
adult term.
adultification.
Cheating is the
Cheating is
adult
adult term.
equivalent. No, no.
Okay,
It's the
so
adult
the equivalent
equivalent.
of a 7-year-old.
We're not
What do we call that?
adultifying it. We're
She's
equating.
entangled.
We're equating. No, that's not a word. Equating.
Yeah.
We're equating it with an adult relationship.
Mhm.
In that, when 22-year-olds say, "Okay, we're gonna hold hands and draw each other letters,"
Mhm.
that's between the two of them.
Mhm.
If you do that to someone else, you've cheated. Now,
Okay.
obviously, I agree. You can't go to Layla and say, Layla, you're a cheater, right?
Mhm.
But
Unless you're pro Nick.
but the point is,
Did I say that?
no. But the point is, the sentence.
Did anyone on this
Layla has
panel?
No,
cheated.
no.
Let
If
me saying that is
No.
different. I made a point to
But
say that
how-
hold on. I need to
the
come to
point
my
is,
defense.
no. I'm defending you. What I'm
Okay,
saying is
fine.
fine. But the point is, Layla has done the adult equivalent of cheating. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
In doing so, we're not gonna go and tell Layla you're a cheater.
No,
But
we have to-
whatever we're
But that's what it's you're
whatever-
sounding like.
no,
You're gonna
whatever
go and
we're
tell Layla she's a
communicating to
cheater.
her will be the
For lack
same
of a better
sentiment.
word.
No. Whatever we're communicating to her will be the
But
same
that's what
sentiment.
I'm saying.
What do you mean?
That's what I'm saying. That
So
you
you are
take
agreeing
it.
that she
you,
cheated?
Okay.
Stop.
She.
But that's the thing, though.
I'm not agreeing that she's cheated, but yes, when you put it in the context of if this was two adults, would say they cheated, yeah?
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
But because it's kids, I'm not seeing it as cheating.
So
What
what
is
happened?
that?
What did
What
you do?
is
I am
Yeah, what
saying
did
What
you do?
is it?
Hey, let me answer. Gosh! You know,
Go on,
it's
sorry,
no,
no, go
it's
on, carry
fine.
on,
It's
sorry.
fine. Carry on.
No, because when I know
No, what
if
it
it's not,
is,
if
yeah,
it's not
because
cheating,
it's
what
not
is it?
cheating.
Well,
For me,
because that's where
I
the
would
contention
say
is.
Yeah.
Layla has been unkind in the agreement that she made with Lucas. Yes, if I was to Layla does the same thing when she's 16, I'll say she's cheated.
Okay.
But now I'll dumb it down to she's been unkind in the way she's treated Lucas because she had an agreement with Lucas and she's broken that and that's hurt Lucas's feeling. So a conversation, yes, does need to, and like Pro Nick said, you start teaching kids right from wrong right at the beginning. So I don't think you would just the parents should just sit on it and say, oh, they're just kids. Like I said, a conversation needs to be had with Layla to say what you've done is not right.
What about you,
And
T?
Lucas is owed some kind of apology.
You seem to be with the mum on this.
Chin, I've been thinking about this. I've been listening. For my own Instagram credibility, I refuse to engage in this now because my thoughts
Why?
are completely off the rails. Because what I'm thinking right now, did I not tell you, dating is the pits? So you're talking to somebody who's been in the ghetto, in the pits. I'm sure we're going somewhere to hell. And my understanding of it, if we're going to say, okay, she cheated, but how? How did she cheat? She's just 7. Okay, let's bring it to the adult world. So are you trying, if you're saying that we need to teach her, what if the card that was drawn, what if the love heart that Ben drew was so much better? What if Ben is I'm just saying, what if Ben is so much kinder? So what we're teaching her now that okay, because no, because you're with Lucas and Lucas gave you a very ugly card and is not very kind. Stay there because you have to be a kind, good girl. What are
It's
we
not
teaching?
about.
If
I don't
that's
think
what
it's.
you're trying to bring. What are we
It's
teaching?
not It's not about staying there, T, because
See, now, this is
that's
what I'm saying.
no,
My mind goes
that's
to
a
the
different
doctor.
that's a different context, because regardless of who's drawn the nicer card, the point still remains the fact that Layla's initial agreement is it Lucas?
Lucas,
Is
yeah.
with Lucas. So if Layla is not impressed or pleased with Lucas, she needs to have that conversation with Lucas to say, you know what? I don't want to
We're
do this.
done.
We're done. And then she can go receive her card from Ben.
From Ben.
Now then. Layla is 7. She does not have an idea of what breaking up and telling this one that, listen, you got to go because I'm going with this one. She does not have an idea of that. Her
So
own
And
understanding to it.
that's where the
she should not
conversation
be
with the
taught that
mum
then.
comes in,
Yes,
because the
but
mum
then,
needs, because
but then
Ben
I don't agree.
Lucas is still hurt.
But
Lucas is
why
still
is the
hurt.
dad saying you go and talk to the daughter? Don't we all know that psychologically girls will relate to our dads better than we relate to our moms? So you're the dad. You saw the problem. Fix
That's what I
it.
said. They should both talk to the daughter. They should
Huh?
both talk to the
I
daughter.
mean,
They should both-
imagine, yeah, if we had a child and then I'm not there and you find out what the child has done. So now you're not going to talk to the child or discipline them because I'm not there.
No, no. Okay, fine. So the idea of bringing the dad in, fine, but that's not
That's
what we're
secondary.
discussing, right? What we're discussing is the dad wants something to be, or maybe the dad wants to do something, but because the mom is against it, she's like, no, we're not gonna do anything. So we don't know the whole story. All we have is what we have, and what we have is that the mom is refusing to take any action because for her they're just 7. It doesn't matter, but the dad is saying no, it does matter and something needs to be done about it.
Okay,
So
let
to
me ask you.
address your
Let me
point,
just ask you a quick question.
yeah.
You know T-Man that used to come and say he's got 6 girlfriends, right? At
Mhm.
what point, we all know T-Man right here. He's the sweetest man I've ever seen. I can't call him a boy. He's the sweetest person that I've ever seen, right? Do we
Mhm.
all agree? He's really sweet.
Yeah,
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, right.
yeah.
At what
You know?
point, Feby, take 2, Fatsani, at what point did your parents ever sit down and be like, no, you can't have 6 girlfriends? That's not very nice. No, don't do that. No, this is how you manage them. No, 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 it's one at a time. Did he turn out bad? When you're young, I think if you start having the conversation with these kids about, oh, okay, what you did was not right. This you're supposed to have one at a time. Oh, this is cheating. This is right. This is wrong. At that age, what are you trying to teach them? Are you actually saying that it's okay for them to be in relationships at that stage? What I'm trying to say, because this is kids' play. Why are you being involved in kids' play? Because for all you know, right? Okay, Lucas cancelled the play date, fair and fine. They're going to see each other at school on Monday. Then they're going to be friends again. Now who feels like the actual a-hole?
But at the same time, like Pro Nick said, we teach
That was a
kids
compelling
we teach
speech.
kids through from a very young age. So even T-Man coming home and saying I have 6 girlfriends, yes, would laugh about it, but then after a certain point it was a conversation of are you sure that's right? How are you handling all that? Not obviously in those words, but Lucas and we're creatures of our upbringing, whether we like it or not. A lot of the things that form us are because of the way we have been raised, the conversations that have been had, and the conversations that have not been had. So Lucas, what
Layla.
Layla never gets spoken to about this kind of behavior or how to just treat people in general. If you want to water it down, she gets to 16, she is going to carry that on to her adult relationships, because there is no understanding for her that no one's challenged anything about her. So I'm sure if your sisters came and were doing some, you speak to your sisters on a regular and you say, no, you don't do that. Why? Because even though they're young, you need to shape certain characteristics in them. And when you start seeing those characteristics, bad characteristics in quotation marks, forming at a young age, you try and correct them. You try and correct them. You try and correct them.
Mhm.
Why? Because you don't want those characteristics to be what they become as an adult. Why? Because you know that if those characteristics are not stomped out, they are going to grow. They're not going to go away if they're not treated.
Sidebar, for the record, my sister, she's had the same boyfriend since she started going to before year 1. You know when they do that foundation thing. She's very
Faithful is
faithful. She's very
Well,
faithful. So
how is
maybe come and take parenting skills from my mother. Mm.
How old is she now, your sister?
She's 8.
Okay.
So
8
she's had
years.
9
her
years, maybe.
relationship has been 5 years strong.
Same boy. Same
5
boy.
years
Oh
strong.
yeah, I'm taking it from birth. 5 years.
Okay. All right, fine. So consensus then. Let's start
Mhm.
with T. T is the lady an a-hole or asshat, however you call it.
She's not. There's no need to be having this conversation. She is not. She is perfectly, to me, not perfectly. To me, she's in the clear. Layla is 7. We can talk about it at 13.
Clear from T. Ati?
Ati, yeah, yeah, she is a asshat. She needs to have that conversation.
Okay.
Start them young.
Fatsadi?
Yes and no.
Oof.
If the conversation is calling her daughter a cheat, then you know she's not an asshat. But if the conversation is dumbed down to the context of Layla's age and Lucas's age, then yes, she is. She needs to start shaping her child.
Okay. Chronic?
T made a compelling argument when you talk about they're just children and so on and so forth. I feel like if the other context of Lucas being hurt hadn't been in the picture, I think it could have been possibly a be kind to everybody, but it wasn't. Whatever it is that they understand they were doing, these two were exclusive, and Layla stepped out on Lucas. She's an a-hole. She needs
Who,
to.
Layla?
No, the mother.
I was gonna say, hold on. I needed to
Run a corner for your
clarify.
speech.
I needed to clarify. The way you put that, I was like, I'm not
No,
sure.
no. Layla is fine. Layla is just a little kid, okay?
She used to cheat.
How about you?
Chronic is right. T did make a complaint argument in her monologue about them being children,
Monologue.
but I would say that no. The lady is still on our side. I think a conversation does need to be had. Yeah, because I agree that 9 times out of 10, kids probably are like that and they do grow out of it. However, not having the discussion and a child turning out okay doesn't necessarily mean it was a good thing not to have the discussion. It just means in this
You
case,
got lucky.
Yeah.
the child is the child turned out okay. And it's never too early to learn valuable life lessons or something useful. So yeah. And I think that's a good time to teach students. Students.
Kids.
To teach kids when they're being exposed to whatever when they're learning things naturally. That's when you should have those kind of conversations with them.